So now this is the second part of configuring the ESXi. So again, we'll say F2 and we'll type the password. So in configure management network, we configured our networking here. So let's scroll up. So we'll say escape, and here we can restart the management network. As it shows here, whatever rhythm that you have, you can actually restart the management network. For example, you use DHCP for your ESXi and you try to get the new IP address from DHCP server, and here you have say F11 actually to request the IP address. Or for example, you think that by restarting the physical interface of your ESXi, you can actually solve the networking problem. We'll say okay, and here, as I said, we have the ping test management network here, and this is the host name of our IPv6. So let's say again enter that. You can see we can ping this IP address and the same IP address, and host name for IPv6 is failed again. So here we can use network restore option. So in some cases in your ESXi, you may need to restore network settings simply by press enter here, and it tells you you should press F11 to reset the network configuration to the default. So we'll say F11, and as you can see, auto configuration network is done. We'll say okay, and we'll say escape. And here again, as you can see, we have the DHCP address here. That means by this option only you can reset configuration for your ESXi networking. So again, we'll type the password. So again, let me use one IP address and escape, and again Y, and we'll do a test connectivity ping 192.168.1.10.1. Great. And here we have configure keyboard. You can use whatever keyboard that you want. And here the troubleshooting option, you can enable ESXi shell or SSL, which we have a lesson. I'm going to talk about it later. And we have a specific lesson for troubleshooting mode for ESXi and how to enable shell or SSH in ESXi, which is great for troubleshooting. And here we can see view system logs. It tells you you should press 1 for syslog, 2 for VM kernel, 3 for config. Let's say for example 3. This is the log, and it tells you, let me actually, you should hold Ctrl Alt and scroll down. Here it tells you you should press Q to quit the configuration. So we'll say Q, and again for virtual center agent we should type 5. That's great. We'll say Q to exit, and here we can see the view support information, the serial number of our ESXi, and the license serial number, which is evaluation, and SSL, and the rest of information that you may find useful here. And here you can actually reset system configuration to the default one. That means if you actually reset the configuration, all the setting that you specified on your ESXi will revert to the default configuration. So we'll say F11 and we'll say enter to restart the host. And first of all, we should log into our ESXi. So we'll say F2. So when you reset the configuration, even your password is going to be blank. So we'll just press enter. And here, the network connection, as you can see again, we have the DHCP configuration. and the DNS we specified is clear, and the DNS configuration, as you can see, all the configuration is set to default. So in your lab, if you reset the configuration, don't forget to actually configure your ESXi 01 again. So next lesson, we're going to explore our ESXi by a browser.